Hey everybody, I'm Colwen, back with another Transformers video. Today I've got Transformers Dark of the Moon Flak. Yes, I've got two of them. This is Flak and this is Jack, as in Flak Jacket. And they are both heavily customized armored personnel carriers with mounted anti-aircraft weaponry. Now, first of all, I need to... Hey, Doc Ray. Yeah? What are you doing here, and where's Film Noir Spider-Man? I'm working on establishing my TARDIS door here with the rest of my TARDIS command deck, and I needed Film Noir Spider-Man to go take care of something for me in the lower decks. Gotcha. So just keep going with my video? Yes. Cool. Alright, so we've got here, again, Transformers Dark of the Moon. I want to say that came out in 2011, 2012 or so. Flak was an armored personnel carrier, and I'm going to start with this one. So yes, real quick though, I have customized both of them heavily, and we will get into robot mode as to why I did the customization. This one right here that I'm going to call Jack, I did a lot more excessive cutting around the side of the leg here. I ended up having to use little fin pieces to fill in the gaps. These little guns, I want to say, came off of the Human Alliance Ironfoot or Leadfoot, their foot, yeah. And these are little jewel crystal things I picked up at one point. And on him, they're like, you know, shield generator things. And then I've got a couple of little laser gun things here that I got off of a Star Wars figure and the little crystal. And you can see I chopped the barrel off and added a piece of mechanical pen or pencil tubing with the barrel off of Generations Warpath with a set of binocular things up here. And there's a magnet in there for some reason for it to mount onto something else, but I don't know where it would mount out on here. Huh. We're going to have to play around with that when we get to robot mode, aren't we? And yeah, they're both painted gold. The Flak one here, I gave one heavy blaster gun on one front fender and a little vent over here. This is some type of plastic sensor scanner device off of a Jadzia Dax 12-inch tall figure, and I carved out the interior here so the bullet can pass through, and there's like a sensor package there. Targeting computer here. These right here are off of X-Wings from Action Fleet. And I got a little crystal there and some little doodads there for these to be either specialized sensor pods or I don't know what they could be, but it's interchangeable depending on what I'm playing around with. And he also has a dark crystal thing on the front, so it's kind of a shield generator. So he's got heavier shields. He's got a smaller shield and more maneuverable weapons and stuff. So they kind of go their own ways a little bit, you know. As you can see on this one here, I didn't have to cut as big of a hole in the side. So we're going to place these guys here. And I want to bring in Dark of the Moon Guzzle, actually. And so Flak and Jacket here, they're all Cyberverse figures, and that's kind of the Scout class figures that they had for Dark of the Moon, and that they were all supposed to be able to play with each other's bases and stuff. These guys interact really well with the Ark, actually. These, I want to say, were Legions, and these were called Commanders because they were the slightly bigger version, and they look really good next to each other. Let me bring in Scourge and Hubcap. We've got Soda Can here. We've got So yeah, these guys are not meant to scale at all with each other. Although if we bring back in Hubcap, I think Hubcap would have definitely been considered a Commander class Cyberverse figure. Transformation. They both transform the same as they originally did. We're going to flip them to the underside here, and I'm going to transform this one because he's more stable. You're going to come up here to the front, And you're going to pull the arms away on these nice double hinges up in here. There's a ball joint in the arm and a hinge back there. And I would actually like to show off what I consider to be another alt mode, artillery mode, where he can extend out his arms and give himself a bit more stable firing arc to use his long-range weapon. I kind of like that. So up in here, this is the majority. This is where I did the major hard modification. Everything else on the outside is just cosmetic. Back in here, there's this hinge that's part of his transformation, and then his original legs were ball jointed, but they were just straight down. I took legs off of a Minicon from PowerCore Combiners that had the same size ball joint, and I just carved out a big old chunk of his leg. And this one was the second one that I did, but since he had a ball joint at here and then a ball joint at the knee, and then I glued it all together, he ends up having a ball joint with a ball joint knee, and that is really, really cool. Fold down the roof, and he is now completely transformed. Film Noir, you're back. Everything go as planned? Yep. Good, good. Let me get out of here then. Hey, Colwen, keep an eye on your cell phone. I may be giving you a call soon, alright? Okay. So I guess on with the show. Let me bring in my comparisons. Here is Guzzle, because they look good together. So I've got here Flak and Jacket and Guzzle in their robot modes, and they do look good together. I like the way these guys look. They make a good team. We got the armor personnel carriers with the tank. It looks good. Let's get Guzzle out of the way here, and we will bring in Scourge. We will bring over Film Noir. We've got Hubcap, and I've got Soda Can. So yeah, these guys are kind of small, but back in the day they were like $4 or $5 each. They were actually pretty reasonably priced when they came out. We also got to bring in the Autobot, the car guys from Siege. So they look pretty similar, other than all the junk that I added to them. The Jacket here, his gun, his barrel can be removed and magnetically attached onto his arm. I like to just leave it in there. You can transform his arm so you can use his shoulder-mounted guns better. Now, his is a little bit more plain, but he does have the same articulation as the other one. So being basically Scout class figures, pocket-sized figures, they have no head articulation, though the head sculpt is pretty decent. It's there, it's good. He's got ball jointed shoulders, up and down hinge here, and a nice swinging hinged shoulder. And I can have his arm transform partially. So, you know, all this stuff is cosmetic, but I took the legs and I carved out a big chunk of the leg. Now on Jacket here, I pretty much just cut the leg in half and then went back in and glued that in there, and then realized, oh, there's a big old hole in the vehicle mode, and I had to add that in here. But with this one, I was a lot more careful cutting out just what I needed to cut out, and I used a thicker knee point with ball joints, so I ended up with ball jointed hips and ball jointed knees. No ankle articulation, but you know, he's only like 3 inches tall. It's fine. But he can get some nice crouching poses down on one knee, so he can have like an artillery pose going on, which is really cool. And because of the ball joint going on, he can get a nice squatting pose. So I feel my modification on these guys really did enhance them in a lot of ways. Now, should you get your own Flak and Jacket? If you do, don't customize them unless if you really want to customize them, go for it. Let me see what you guys do. Maybe you can do a better job on the legs, alright? Right now, This guy was originally back in like 2011 or 12 or so, like $4 or $5, and came in a nice little bubble packaging. Nowadays, getting him loose, he's around 20 bucks. Getting him mint in the box can be upwards of $40 and $50. He is kind of ridiculously priced. But the nice thing about this guy is, let's look at Flak here, okay? He has no accessories. The barrel on the original is just the barrel. The legs are just straight legs. So if you get them loose, you don't got to worry about having them complete, which is kind of a cool thing. I am going to go ahead and stop talking. They're great figures, okay? They got minimalistic backpack. They got nice molded in detail. They're reasonably posable. They interact with the arc very, very well. If you can track down a couple loose, this is really an army builder, because you know you want to have 2 or 3 of these guys. I wouldn't mind having another, except for 20 bucks each. Oh my goodness, you can get much better stuff nowadays at that price, But they are good, fun little figures if you can stomach the price on them. I'm Colwen. That's Flak and Jacket. Thank you very. Dark of the Moon, Flak and Jacket. Thank you very much for watching.